Hello, gamers, and welcome to another live stream from Crane Creations. Today we have joining us. There's here you can see you. Sorry, let me show you guys.
Hi.
So it's Simone Luciani, the world acclaimed board game author, and Elisa De Micheli, and also head of development in Crane Creations, and also Elisa who is international sales and marketing from Crane Creations as well. What we'll
Hi,
do today,
everybody.
hi guys. Thank you for being here. So what we'll do today is that we're gonna talk about Maharaja. How can I say it in English? Maharaja, maybe Maharaja.
Maharaja, probably.
Um, Thank you. Our latest Kickstarter project and one of the recently released board games from us. And we're going to answer your questions that we received privately. And if you have any questions while we're streaming, please feel free to ask them. Let us know your thoughts on Maharaja. And don't forget to subscribe to all our channels, namely Twitch, if you're on Twitch, Facebook, on our page, Facebook, Crane Creations Global, and on Twitter. So enjoy this live stream. Enjoy Maharaja, and we'll speak soon. Bye. Bye, guys.
Hi. Thank you, Rosita, for introducing this live. We are happy to be here today to answer your question. We will start with the question that we have collected in the past days, and then we will check if you have any other additional question about the game. First of all, I would like to say that also this week there is an active contest on Board Game Geek for Maharaja. So there are six questions to answer, and maybe in this live we will help you in this question as well. And yes, you can win a copy of the game, complete with the Kickstarter exclusive and also with all the Kickstarter add-ons. So thank you, Simone, for being here today. I will ask you the question, and I'm very curious also to listen to some of those answers. So first question for you, and in general for Cranio, is why did you choose to re-edit and implement this game, Maharaja? What did you like, especially in the original game, that make you choose it?
We like to reprint some old good games because we think that there is a lot of game in the past that a lot of new gamers don't know. So we want to republish some of this kind of game. And Maharaja is one of the game I love so much because the combination of the simultaneous choice and the two main interesting action and interact with the other player, that is exchange the character, that change the turn order and also change the power during the turn, and also exchanging the order of scoring the city, are very interesting in my experience, my game experience. So I really like this kind of mechanics. And also the game is really interactive and really tense. So it's a really big race between the players. So I played quite a lot the whole game. And when we think about a game we want to republish, Maharaja is one of the first game I think of and discussed with the other Cranio guys, and we agree that it's a really good game that need a new edition to make a lot of new gamers have access to this game.
Yes. Absolutely. The combination of the secret action selection and also the character changings gives a lot of twists during the game, because you make your plans, but you don't know what the other players are aiming to do, and if they will also do that before you by changing the turn order during the same round. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
When you plan, you have to think about your opponent plan, because a lot of action they can do can interact with your plan, and you have to change and you have to predict. So that the interaction is very, very high and very, very interesting.
yes, sure. You don't need to get offended during this game because there's a lot of interaction, and your plan may change a lot. Then another question that is also pretty connected to the first one, I think, is how was for you to collaborate with two incredible designers as Kramer and Kiesling on this reimplementation?
For me, collaborate with Kramer and Kiesling, it's something near a dream, because when I start as a gamer and enter in the Eurogame world, this is two of my favorite designers. I love a lot of design. They are one of the most awarded designer, and it's something like a top class designer. So it's like a dream to collaborate with them. And when I asked the right for the game, they answered that the right are open, and they are open to work on the game, so upgrade little bit the mechanics, but they want to have a part in the development, so they want to check if the changes are okay, if they like the changes, and I'm quite happy to have the opportunity to share my work with them. And the surprise is also how much enthusiastic are their participation to development. I made the changes, then share the changes, the new mechanics with Kramer and Kiesling, and they made some tests, especially Kramer, made some tests with their friend and give me another idea. And it's not usual that a game designer that have a lot of success under their belt like to work on a new edition and have new ideas. And I'm near to close the game because we are at the end of the development. And Kramer write a mail, oh, I have another idea. Could we have this kind of mechanism like a designer with the same emotion of a designer at the first steps? So it's like when I see how Kramer work on a game after so many success, it's a model for me in the future, because continuing working on some on your profession with this kind of enthusiastic and participation and motivation, it's very, very precious. So I'm very happy about this collaboration. I'm very and also I'm very proud they enjoy and appreciate the changes on the mechanism. So they give me a positive feedback about my work. So I'm very proud and happy.
Yes, so it was an inspirational experience for you, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes, because I can imagine that approaching such a big designer can be at the beginning a little bit put you a little bit afraid, but it was an amazing experience. It's also amazing to hear that so much enthusiasm, so much feedbacks, and so much involvement also from their side to see their game again under a new we can say in a new edition, in a totally new edition. And talking about that, I was wondering if we can list maybe which are the main changes in the game. Maybe we can just list them, and then we can directly go on Tabletopia, where we have the game open, so that we can focus on each of these changings.
Okay. The first change is to add the victory point to the game. So you don't win when you finish your palace and statue in new edition, but you win having most victory points. The core concept of the game is the same, because building statues or palace in the old version are central. So it's still a race to build your statues and try to finish them, but it's not the only focus of the game, because you have different way to score points. The second main changes is to enlarge the pool of characters. So in the original game, I remember we have 5, 6 plus
characters.
So more or less 7 characters, and we create new characters and enlarge a lot the pool of characters. And each game you have a different set. So this is change the game. And then we made some changes about the scoring. So when you score a city, you get the coins, but also get a bonus that changes every round. And after these 3 main changes, we may make some small changes about, for example, the cost of the elements. So if you build a palace or a statue inside the city of Maharaja, it costs more than outside. Made some small changes about the value of the elements during the scoring. So the external palace increased their value during the scoring. And also we had some additional tiles that change the rules, that change the scoring, and also reduce a little bit the number of rounds you can play. If I remember well, this is more or less the changes. We also change the structure of the some action on the wheel. So we upgrade a little bit the wheel, change, add some action. The 80% of the core of the action on the wheel is the same, but we adapt a little bit and change a little bit to have a set of action that is more related to the new version.
Okay, so yes, basically the base game, the original game, first of all, they didn't have victory point. It was based on the race, correct? So you needed to finish first the number of palaces, in that case, that you're going to build. I think that we can go a little bit closer to in the game, so that we can check some of the basic points that you told us. First of all, I just want to say ciao to Antoine. Welcome here. Hope this will be interesting for you, and don't hesitate to ask questions if you have them. So, as a close-up, we said that there are victory points, and so basically there are sorry, I'm getting used again to Tabletopia instead of Tabletop Simulator, but it's okay. So we have a basic scoring that is the starting one that you can use maybe better in the first games, but there are also additional scoring tiles that you can use and change during the next game. Is that correct?
Exactly.
So I think that also here on Tabletopia we have some example. As you said, it still remains really very important to build statues, because basically those statues always score, I think, almost in all the tiles, a lot of victory point at the end of the game. So can change the scoring at the end of the game. But as said by Simone, it's not the only option you have. So when you create all these new scoring tiles, which is the goal? To add additional variability to the game, is that correct? To give also different strategy to pursue it.
Yes, it's correct, because when I start to think about the reimplementation of the game, I think about my experience on the game, but also I read a lot the comment of the gamer. So I try to find the weakness of the original design. The original design is a very good game. It's one of the Spiel des Jahres finally, so it's for sure a game that a lot of gamers love. But I found a couple of weaknesses during my study process about the project. And one of them is the variability. This because the game changes, the taste of the gamers changes, and now usually gamer like more variability, more option. The game, if the game is really different from game to game, it's better. So it's something that you can explore more. So the variability in this time, in this period, is very important. And the original game are more or less the same. The variability is focused on the action of the player. The interaction give different game, but the structure of the game is the same, because you have only one way to win the game. The characters are always the same, so there are not so much variability. And I try to add variability. And the other weakness is that it's a race game where if you win the scoring on a city, you get coin, and this can create a runaway leader. So I made the best movement in the beginning of the game. I get more coin, so I have more coin to spend. I won again, and I win the game in the first half of the game. It's
sure, so
always.
The other players feel a little bit this pressure of not being able to catch up anymore the alpha player. Yes,
exactly. It's not all the game.
Sure.
This problem emerge from because if you are a good player, you have some way to counteract the other player move. But in some game, not few time, a player feels that is very, very far away from the other, and the feeling is not so good. So I start from these two small problem and try to upgrade the game. And all the upgrade try to reduce this bad feeling.
Yes. Also, as you said. Oh, sorry.
No. The scoring tile is one of the last addition that give each game much different. As you say, that the first three elements, that is the majority on a city, the palace, and the coin you have in your reserve at the end of the game, are more or less important. But each scoring had one special different way to score points, depending, and give you information in which cities you want to build, so you can focus a little bit or more on the fourth way of score points. So they don't change completely the core of the game, but give you a different feeling, a different way to play.
Sure. But I've read something about the fact that some of the elements that you introduced in the game were also something that was discarded for the first edition, because I think that since 2005 the taste of players and also the expectation for the game changed a lot. So maybe something that was not working, could not work in 2005, now is more expected in the game. So is that true? Is there some implementation that was also considered by the original authors when they developed the game?
I'm not sure, because I don't discuss with Kisling and Kramer the version, the old version before the final edition. We one of the things that I can say, that we add to the new edition some rules that change change some rules of the game. So, for example, on the top, on the right corner, you can see some tiles that give you, for example, a different value of your price, change the value of the external palace, change the cost of the city, of a palace in the city outside of the Maharaja, and so on. And this is quite fun, because these rules is the rules we discarded in the final version. So we tested several versions during the development. For example, in the original game, the palace in the cost always 12 coin. This is the original game. During the development, Kisling suggests to change this cost. So if you build in the Maharaja cities, you pay the normal cost. If you build outside, you pay 2 coin less, and this gives to the player the feeling that that plan in the future. So build in a cities that will not be scored at the end of the round. It costs you less. So give a price for the player that interact in the right way with the prediction system, and we like these changes. But we know that also the old version works and give a little bit different feelings. So at the end of the development, we think, why don't add the rules we discarded as optional rules that player can add and change as a modular rules the game. And so we introduce all the rules as tiles that you can change the rules of the game as you prefer. So add more variability to the game also.
Yes, sure. And then, as you said, just a small change as that one that you pay less if you build before the Maharaja visit the city, completely changed the mindset of players, because you get that it's definitely more convenience also to plan more in advance. So that's pretty interesting to think. And we have also a question by Antoine. Antoine is asking the question in Italian, so I'm reading exactly the question he is asking, then we will translate it. And it says, ora che il gioco è uscito e c'è stata la risposta del pubblico, c'è qualcosa che avresti modificato nelle meccaniche? So his question is, now that the game is has been released and you got feedback also from the gamers, would you have changed some of the rule of the mechanics?
Some of the gamer say that he preferred the old version, probably because they are in love with the old feelings of race. So if I read the future, probably one of the option is to give to the player the possibility to play with the old version. So probably print a double-side map or something like that give to the player the option to choose the old version and the new version is something that can give to the player the choice of which version, because each time you re-implement a game, it's a little bit a risk, because you are
you have to deal with the memory connected to this
absolutely,
game.
Absolutely. If I fall in love with a game, I don't want that someone changes my game. So it's a little bit risky. We are happy about the final results. There are also good feedback. There are a lot of players that like that. Also, Kiesel and Kramer like a lot the final version. So we are quite happy about the work. Probably adding both of the version is not a bad idea, because it's quite possible. With there is not so many changes that it's impossible to insert. But we think that the final version is a very challenging version.
So thank you, Antoine. We hope we have answered your question. If you have any other additional question to ask, we are here. So following up about the game. Sorry again for strange moves. Maybe we can go a little bit deeper into the actions of the game. So you said that not all the actions were available in the original version of the game. Just as a reminder, this is the tabletopia version, so you don't have the arrows in the wheels, but you just have tiles to place.
Yeah. The only action we had from zero is the action where you can spend coin to victory points. And it's not a really strong action, so an action that you can perform from the beginning. So it's not a big adding. We give some way to spend the coin for point at the end of the game, but the main change about the action is the cost. Because in the original game, the trick is that you all the action costs the same. So, for example, if you build a palace, you pay the palace. If you build the altar, you pay the altar. If you build both, you pay both. So you have no way to choose the less powerful action. So why to choose to build only a palace if I can build a palace and houses? But the trick in the game is that if you can perform both of the action, you have to all of your opponents get one coin. So you have to be careful to plan well, because if you don't plan well, you give some coin to your opponent. We change a little bit this mechanism, but keeping the same balancing. So if you build some elements alone, for example, if you build houses or build a palace alone, you have a discount. so you pay something less. So if you want to build more structure in the same round, for example, a couple of houses or a palace and houses, you lose this discount.
Yes, those are the discounted tiles.
And this is because the game is a little bit more complex than the original, and we don't want to give a penalty to the player that are not able to play in the best way. So it's a little bit less punitive, less difficult to plan. Punishing, exactly. To a bad planning. Yeah.
Yes, also regarding my personal experience in the game, as you said, the action of converting coins into victory point is not that powerful, and it's also not that easy to have coins to spend during the game for other than building shrines and statues, because the game is still really very close about that. It's really very difficult to reach, to always be able to reach the correct number of coins to build what you want to. So yes, for sure. And we have another question from Antoine that is about the fifth player, because we, as a reminder, in the original game, the game was up to 5 players. Instead, in the new edition, we have from 1 to 4 players. So, why this decision was made?
This because increasing the little bit the complexity of the game, you increase how much the people think about the reaction, and the test on 5-player games give less interesting results than a 4-player game, because there is more than time and the game is a little bit too longer for our feeling. So after some testing in 5-player, we choose to reduce to 4 the number of players, because the new game is a little bit more complex and more intricate as a number of decisions.
Yes, you have plenty more of options to consider in this game instead of the other, because yes, there are additional bonuses also that you add to the game. We can, as a reminder, as in the original game, there's a final scoring after each city is visited by the Maharaja. So we check the majority for each city. But what wasn't there in the original version are also the bonus tiles. So, okay, I can't remember, Simone, how do I flip tiles in tabletop? Yeah.
Oh no, I'm trying, but
but if I click twice, maybe we can also show. I'm sorry, I'm too used to Tabletop Simulator now, but I will get again used to Tabletop as well. So yes, let's talk a little bit about those interesting bonuses that you can get.
Yeah, this is one of the changes that Kramer like most. And the original goal of this mechanics is to reduce the runaway leader, because the amount of coin you get from the prize is reduced. So the step from the first and the fourth is really reduced. So if you are fourth, you get
6.
Yeah. You get more coin if you are in the lower position, so the gap is not so much. So you are able to build also if you are last. But you choose first this interesting bonus, so it's another way to choose something, and it's some coin, but also victory point, also spend coins for victory points. You can bid for free, so you don't get only coin, but some tactical interesting option. You can, for example, with this tile, you force the other player to lose 2 coins, so you slow a little bit the game, because if someone want to close very fast, you can slow down a little bit, or you can push on victory point, but you have less coins probably, and someone are more able to build and to control the game. But if you get a lot of coins but don't get victory points in the final part of the game, probably you have some difficulty to be the first player and the winner. So you have to balance the coin, the victory point, some additional action, and it's quite interesting because you can choose a tile, then you move the tile up, and then all the tiles slide down. So some tiles cannot be chosen in a specific round. So each round you have a different set of tiles. With these mechanics, the tile rotate during the game, and in each round you have a different selection related to the number of players. So it's also important to understand which is the most important round to win the majority, and if is more important to win the majority in the next round.
Yes, but because those are always visible, so basically you can plan a little bit in advance how to play your moves. Let's say to get the majority, to be the first to choose, and so.
This is the Marani. These tiles is one of the last edition. Is when the game is near to close. Kramer say, I have another idea about the prize and the Marani that you can copy a power, and I like so much the idea because give a lot of different moves, because with this style you can copy a character of an opponent for the next round. So you for all the round you have the power also of the card. So give a lot of different combinations that you can use this bonus. It's not only 3 point or 3 coin. You can use in a several different way.
Yes, that's pretty interesting, and also connected to the characters theme, because there are really a lot of characters now. I think in total there are more than 20 or 20 characters.
20.
So a lot more than in the base game. So you have a lot more of action about the turn order, and also you have a lot of special bonuses that it's pretty interesting to copy with this Marani token. Yes. And about the characters. A question would be, we have said that character can be stolen, and so this allows you sometimes to get 2 bonuses during the same round. Is that correct? So when we perform the character change action naturally.
Yeah, this make the character action probably one of my favorite action, because give you a lot of combos that you can create. You can use the old character, exchange the character, use the new character power, and he create a lot of variability, a lot of different combos that you can create with so many characters. So it's quite fun to me, the exchange. It's also fun to me in the old version. But here you have so much character, so you can explore many combinations.
Yes, just looking at now at the combination we have here. Here, for example, you can build a shrine without using, without paying costs, without having the priest in the city, and the other character gives you a +1, even if you don't have the priest. So there are so many interesting combination that can be made also by changing a character like that. So, for example, in my turn, if I have this character, I can play and use my ability to build a shrine in a city where I do not have my priest. That maybe can be also the city of the visited by the Maharaja. And then by exchanging the character, I can also get this bonus, and so I get a +1 even if I do not have my priest in the city. So that's pretty interesting, because also as a reminder, you score and get coins in a city only if you are there at least with 1 point. So you anyway need to be there to score,
Yes,
get some coins.
it's very important to be part of the scoring also in the last place. So sometimes moving the priest is a very powerful move just to be present. But there is some character that allow you the possibility to skip this important because give you, for example, the presence in a city also if you are not present. So also the character interact with this important strategic requirement to be present in a city when it's scored.
Yes, there are plenty of options, and I think it's pretty clever also the idea to emphasize the powers of the characters by using by adding also this Maran token. That is something really interesting. And also another tile that I think it's pretty new. It's the additional action that we can acquire sometime with the characters or as a special bonus. This is something new also. Is this something new also?
It's not really new because the old version of the game has these action tiles as a variant. So if you play the normal game, you don't have it. But there is only one additional character that give you this style. So it's present, but only as a variant and only connected to one of the characters. Because I like this, I played with the variant to perform more action.
We have lost you for a second. What you were saying about this? So you like this idea of the additional action?
Yes, I like. I play the variant sometime, and I like the feeling to have more action. It increases a little bit the complexity and the downtime of the game, but it's quite very fun for the player. So I introduced this element in a different way. So more than one character give you the new action, some bonus that is another changes from the original game. So if you build the first two external palace, you get a bonus. For example, in this area you get an action tiles. So it's quite interesting. In the original version, it's a straightforward decision to build in the center. The first build in the center, and that's all. Here, the first can build in the center, but also the first two external palace are really interesting because give you more option, more combo, more action. So it's also an interesting option. So
yes, this can really change your the way you play during the game.
Yes, and also I'm able to put this action token in a different element of the game. So you can take from the spaces of the external palace. You can take from some characters. So you have several ways to get this token and spend to have more action.
Yes, sure. And another topic we haven't discussed for now. Yes, I think it's the solo mode. So basically, we in this new edition of the game, there is also an option to play a solo mode.
Yes.
How does it work? How does it came out? I think it was a strong request, if I'm correct, from the gamers that were really interested to have this solo mode during the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, not only in the Kickstarter. The gamer in the last years start to play with solo mode really often, while in the past it's a little bit strange to have a game that playable in one player. So this is a trend required from the player, and it's a good addition to have the possibility to play in solo, especially for a Kickstarter. So we work with David Tucci, that is really expert solo modes the designer. I work together to design and then develop the solo mode. He designed the core mechanism, and I change a little bit and shape, testing it on the game. I'm quite happy about the final results because the solo mode is simple. It's not so complex, but it's really challenging, and it's not easy
to win.
No, it's not easy to win, but it's not easy to design a challenging solo mode in a so interactive game, because
yes, sure, because it's not straight as we can say a standard Euro game, but it's something where you have to really challenge with the other players. So get this feeling also playing with an automa. I think it was really complex to accomplish.
Yeah, but magically the solo mode, the automa seems read in your mind and make a lot of pressure on you. So he build on the cities you want them the majority, and steal you the spot on a village, and you need to pay coins. So it's very aggressive and works well. There is different level of difficulty. It's quite easy because there are 3 cards visible. In each card there is an action. There is 2 cards visible and 1 covered, and each round one of the 3 cards are randomly chosen. So you have you can see 2 of the 3 moves, but you can have also some big surprise, because if the automa choose the covered card, it's something really new for you. And they build in the cities, move the price, and build a shrine. So it's I have a lot of fun to play test solo mode.
So yes, basically the automa acts as another player would do, and you can use this solo mode only when you play this automa only when you play alone, or you can also add the automa when you play in 2 players, let's say.
No, it's a 2-player game with the automa. So it's a fight against the automa. It's designed to play in two player.
Okay, so yeah, especially in in the last years, as you said, a lot of players are asking also for this option, and especially in the last year, I think it has been important to have games also that you can play on your own. And yes, as you said, it's not that easy to give the feeling, the same feeling to the other players as when you are playing with other, when you play solo. So just an overview. Let me know, Simone, if I'm showing the correct elements in the automa. So those are the...
This is the setup elements. This is the setup. You draw one of them depending of the complexity. The automa build their starting shrine. So this is the setup card of the automa.
Okay, and then you have the other cards that set the actions of the automa.
It's quite simple, but really ingenious, because you have one action. The automa don't use coin to build something, but simply perform the first action, that is build something in a specific city. So probably in the Maharaja city or in the next city that will be scored in the future, and build something. Then move the priest to a city. And if they are not able to reach the cities, build a shrine for free. So moving the priest, the automa also put some shrine on the board, and after this move, a lot of coin, spend the coin to build another palace. So usually makes the first action that is for free, and if have additional coin, he spend 6 coin to build an additional palace. So if you give a lot of coin, for example, using the shrine of the automa, it's a little bit a problem for you, because give the opportunity for the automa to build an additional status and speed up the end of the game, and give a lot of point to the automa.
Yes, and also because I think that considering that to move our priest, we always need to have a shrine along the roads. I think that was it has been one of the main topics to solve, the one of having anyway enough shrines to move, even if you play in solo.
Sorry, yes, I lost the...
No, I was wondering that most probably the topic of the shrines that are needed to move your priest has been one of the more complex to solve, I think, in creating a solo mode. Because normally all the players build their shrines, so automatically all the roads are open little by little. But if you play solo, you really need some other mechanics that helps you.
In the complex games, there is not a difficult problem to solve, because if you add a lot of rules, it's quite easy to solve everything. But the challenge is to solve the problem with few rules, with an automa that is streamlined and are playable by everyone. If you create an automa that is too complex, it is a small problem for the gamer, because your mind is concentrated to play the game, and also to understand the rules of the automa, the exception of the automa. So more streamlined is the automa, and the game is better. But if you streamline too much, the automa probably is stupid. His movement is not the best one in the game.
It's not challenging.
It's not challenging. I'm very surprised by the automa of Maharaja at the end, because it's quite simple, but really challenging. So it's automata that I like so much.
So let's say hi also to Board Game Italia. I don't know who's online now, but hi everybody.
Hi.
And yes, so basically, I think that what you were saying about the fact that it's need to be anyway easy to play. It's a golden rule that is good also for all the games, even if the games are complex. Always try to find simple rules, because I am thinking about the games we have that you have released with Cranio in the last years, but also Barrage. A lot of people that approach the game and the feel a little bit overwhelmed in the beginning, but then everybody after reading the rules or listening to the explanation says that the gameplay is really very smooth, and also the rules are simple, are not that complex, we can say. So I think it's something that you pursue it in general to make the game, even if those are brain burning while playing, but they have simple rules.
It's not an easy challenge. Also because the taste changed during the years very fast. When I release Grand Austria Hotel, that is one of my first heavy German, heavy Euro release.
And one of my favorite, I have to say.
I'm happy. I think that the game is really too much complex, and I have a lot of fear about the complexity of this game. And I sent to the publisher, writing a mail that there are too much rules. Choose something to cut away because the game probably is too much complex. But the publisher released 90% the same version we send them, and the feeling now in this period is that the game is not so much complex. There is some downtime, but it's done. I am not able to say something family, but the feeling is that it's not complex. It's also Barrage. I have a lot of fear about the complexity of the game, but at the end of all, the people like the game, understand the game, are able to play. This also because the taste of the gamer change from year to year, and they play a lot of heavy game. And when you play a lot of heavy game, your mind are prepared to play a more complex one. It's like to practice something a lot that you are more able each time to do it better, and also it's the same for board game. If you play a lot of board game, probably the feeling of the complexities change during your gaming life.
Yes, also because sometimes, not always, but some rules or some mechanics return in all the complex games. So I think that it's another challenge for the game designers to set a good combination of mechanics. Most probably, always trying to find something totally new, but also combining existing mechanic in a good way to make it really solid.
Yeah, I think it's a good way to design complex game, because if you create something completely new for the gamer, is a little bit difficult to manage, to understand the game, to understand if you combine something new as something that is more familiar to the player, you reach a good feeling, because you can understand 50% of the game, and you can concentrate on the new aspect, and understand how these original elements works. But it's really different from game to game. There are some games that are really innovative and they works well, and some games that are really low innovative and works well because the overall feeling is good. So the final is that the emotion and the feeling of the game is 100%. If you play the game and you want to play again and you have fun, it's in my opinion.
We have lost. We have just heard, in my opinion, but we have lost the sentence before.
Yeah, because the final important part is that the game must be fun, and the game enjoy the experience and want to play again. You can reach this goal in a different way, but the final important element is that the overall experience is positive.
Yes, it's a game, so you must enjoy it. That's the basic rule. So I think that we have answered all the questions that we have received in the past days, and also the question during the live. So I would like to thank Simone for your time, and welcome back Rosita, our host, to say bye and to close the live. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you both for being available for this live. Thank you all for watching it. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to subscribe to all our channels, the ones you've watched the live on, but in general on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook at Crano Creations Global, Twitter, and Twitch here. So until then, have fun, play lots of games, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.